For me, the EA Electronic Arts press conference at E3 this year brought up quite a bit of surprises. I knew, well, I knew two out of four of the games that I'm going to be showing in this video. They had been announced. One of them I've known has been coming for a while because my brother is a big fan of the series. But still, so it surprised me because they were games that I would not normally have gone for myself. As you can see on the screen right now, the first game of which I'm speaking about is Mirror's Edge. Mirror's Edge is getting a brand new game. It's not a sequel. It's not quite a prequel either. They're calling it a reboot. Basically, they are taking the series right back, the franchise right back, and giving Faith somewhat of an origin story. I missed Mirror's Edge the first time around. I'm not gonna lie, I did. I just missed it completely. Um, I have had a chance to play a little bit of it, courtesy of PlayStation Now, the beta of PlayStation Now, anyway. And it's thoroughly enjoyable for me. A bit frustrating. I wasn't that great at it, I must admit. But yeah, really, really, really fun. And I know for a fact my fiance absolutely adores it. He has been playing the ever loving crap out of it on the PlayStation Now beta, and he raves about it. So for him, this game is definitely a big must. And I must say, after seeing the trailer and the footage that they showed at E3, I'm right along there with him. Um, I want to know more. For me, Mirror's Edge, I want to know more about Faith. I'm really, really happy that they've decided to pull it back so much and reboot the series, as you know, because I missed the first game, I missed the first story. To see, who is this very, very pretty woman, um, who we see, running around on rooftops being a complete badass. I want to know who she is. I want to know what drives her. I want to know what her motivations are. I want to know all the personal stuff about her that I don't know from not playing the first Mirror's Edge game. And most importantly, I want to know about this world that they've created as well. This sort of dystopian world that's not dark as a lot of dystopias seem to be, but very bright and open. I love the art style of these games. And I'm just really looking forward to playing a kick-ass female character. One that doesn't use guns, is not going to use any sort of guns. It's all about running and escaping, and I think it's hand-to-hand combat, but yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm excited as a new player coming to the franchise. I I want them to blow me away. I want them to make me fall as in love with Faith as millions upon millions of people already did. Um, yeah. So, Mirror's Edge Catalyst, uh, by EA, by Dice. It's out. I think it's got a release date in February, early next year, as a lot of the games at E3 have. That they're sort of skipping the holiday period this year and going for early 2016, which is, it doesn't bother me at all. Christmas is a very expensive time for me and my family. So yeah, early 2016. Mirror's Edge Catalyst is definitely going to be a game that is on my radar, if not for the fact that my fiance will probably be buying it and playing the other ever loving crap out of it. So every time I go downstairs, I will see Faith running around on rooftops and be going, no spoilers, no spoilers, no spoilers. So yeah, Mirror's Edge Catalyst. I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued, EA. I'm intrigued, Dice. Show me what you got. One of the unannounced surprising little games of E3, which turned out to be a huge hit, not just for me and my fiance, but a hell of a lot of people as well, was a tiny little game called Unravel, as you can see. Little, very, very cute little fellow on the screen. goes by the name of Yanni, and he's become a little bit of an internet sensation because he's cute and he unravels, and he has to cross this big dangerous world, unraveling or re-raveling his yarn, pulling the strings back together. Um, I love little quirky little games like this. I love this is what I indie games really, really mean to me. This is what makes a good indie game is a quirky little platformer maybe, which has got a deeper story to it. So while it seems so very simple on the surface, it's got a deeper story. There's a deeper meaning to it. One of the best games that I indie games that I've played in recent years was Brothers Tale of Two Sons, and uh, that had a quirky little mechanic in that you controlled the two of them at the same time. But deeper than that was the story and the meaning to it. So while it seems to be, very, very simple, it actually is very poignant and makes you feel things. And that's what I'm hoping to see with Unravel because it looks bloody awesome and so very cute. Now, I'm the type of person that when it comes to mobile gaming, I don't tend to get too involved in that. The games that I do download tend to be more puzzle games than strategy games. But when you put minions on my screen, hell, I become a child again, as do a lot of inverted commas grown-ups that I know, because it's minions, and minions are freaking awesome. They are absolutely awesome. I have a 6-year-old son, so we've watched the Despicable Me movies like a lot. And even if I hadn't, I think that the Minions would not be off my radar. But yes, Minions are getting a little strategy game in on mobile on Android called Minions Paradise, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm interested. Strange but true. But I am. Minions. So, along with Mirror's Edge, the second game that I knew was coming was going to be at E3. Of course, it was going to be at E3. I've been hearing about it for a while. This is the game that I said that my brother has been looking forward to like so much. He bought a PS4. He bought it earlier than he was planning to. He was planning on getting it towards the end of this year, simply for this game. But he did get it a little bit earlier. Star Wars Battlefront. Now, from what I've seen of it, looks pretty damn incredible and pretty impressive. And I am looking forward to getting quite back into the Star Wars franchise in my gaming, and to see what it's got to offer. Um, I've put my hands up, and I'm sure I've said this on Twitter before. I've said this plenty of times before. The last Star Wars game that I actually played was Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, on the PS1, on the original PlayStation. But I played the crap out of that game, and so did my brother, and that's why I think that he's more looking forward to this than me. He has carried on playing sort of Star Wars games ever since then, and like my experience, my journey ended there. But he carried on playing the games, and I guess it was a couple of months ago that he said to me, I'm looking forward to Battlefront later this year, Battlefront, and I was like, oh, okay, sounds a bit like Battlefield to me, and I'm like, Star Wars, I like the franchise. Don't get me wrong, I'm not big fan of it, and I don't hate it either. I like the franchise. The franchise is great. The franchise is it's Star Wars, but for me, in terms of Star Wars gaming, like I said, Phantom Menace was the last time that I forayed into the Star Wars universe in a video game. So I'm looking forward to what Star Wars Battlefront has to offer. I'm very intrigued by the fact that it is set in the actual like movie franchise's world. I think when that's done very, very well, it can be brilliant. Take Alien Isolation, for example, a game that I found phenomenal. So yeah, seeing Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader going at it on the thing, knowing that we're going to be playing through essentially missions, parts of the movie as missions, potentially with your friends. You know, you play it as co-op. You can play it single player with AI partners, or you can play it as co-op. Which is, if you've got the right partners and the right team, can be a hell of a lot of fun. There is also a multiplayer aspect of it. I don't see myself getting very involved with that. I'm more likely to stick to the story and the campaign. But yeah, Star Wars Battlefront is definitely now on my radar. And this is what I love about E3. Games that come completely left field, as I've shown earlier on with Unravel and maybe Minions for a little bit, but yeah, games that completely left field, you don't expect them. Brand new IPs that come out, but things that you have heard about and gone, not my cup of tea, and you have this idea of it that it's not going to be something that you want to play, and then you actually see it at E3, you see trailers, or most importantly, you see gameplay of it, and you're like, I'm not gonna lie, this looks pretty awesome. Um, so yeah, Star Wars Battlefront has caught my attention, shall we say? Well, caught my attention is more than caught my attention. I think that I am sold. That is it has definitely joined my must-have list towards the end of this year, which is surprisingly free. Now that a lot of games are hitting early 2016. Star Wars Battlefront. There should be me, there should be Mr. Barfly, and there should be my brother, I suspect, hitting all those well-known, famous locales from the movies. And yeah, I think that this game is going to be something that I'm going to really get into. Hopefully, fingers crossed. But regardless of whether I do get into Star Wars Battlefront or not, regardless of whether I get into Mirror's Edge or not, again, regardless of if I get Minions on my mobile phone, EA, your conference was great. It was really good. I find with EA, sometimes they are a little bit, well, they can be a bit hit and miss. If you're not really into sports like I'm not, it's like half of the show's great and half of it's kind of boring. But yeah, this show was great. The great bits were really, really great. And I am definitely going to be purchasing EA games towards the end of this year, early 2016, and then late 2016 with Mass Effect. So good show, Electronic Arts. Good show.